Good morning, everybody. Matt Moda here to give you my favorite MLB home run predictions for today. We're talking Sunday, August 10th. The Dong Report is back in your life. I'm going to have 7 total players on Dong Watch for today. Of course, going to give you my 3 favorites and then finish with all 7 of the players. So whether you want to take the favorites, whether you want to spray the board like I'm doing, up to you. Would appreciate it regardless if you could watch the entire video. As for yesterday, not great. No really other way to say it. Not a good day yesterday. We had a ton of guys that we had the day before hit a home run yesterday, but unfortunately, that doesn't help us yesterday. 0 for 7 yesterday, down 0.7 units. It's definitely been a tough last 3 days. So like Thursday, Friday, Saturday. That's what the last 3 days are. Tough that it also happens over the weekend when it'd be great to get donked, but that just hasn't been the case. Pretty tough day. I mean, Schneemann got taken out after 2 at-bats. Schwarber didn't do anything. Neither of the Royals guys did anything. Torque, Soderbaum. He actually had an okay day at the plate, but not a home run. Just a tough day overall. No way around it. On the entire year, brings our losses back, brings our winnings back down to below the 2-unit mark. We were up above 3 units before this last 3-day stretch, so hopefully we can have a really good day today, really good day tomorrow, get ourselves back up in that. Again, just keep going up on the profits. 1.5% ROI. It's been really successful since I started to spray the board, which is why you see the total profit if 1 unit up at like 61 units. I mean, today or yesterday, obviously, is not a good example of that, but generally spraying the board has gone really well for us. So just imagine what you would profit on 0.1 units and then just multiply that by 10, which is why you see this number so high. The Dong slate today is not terrible. There are a couple games in the green, 4 home runs. I actually only have a play in 2 of these green games. Couldn't really find anything in the other ones. I'll give you the 2 leans I have in this one. I'll just give you right now. Junior Caminero and Brandon Lau. Brian Wu is pitching, and they don't have great matchups against him, which is why I didn't go with them. But they are definitely leans if you just want to rock with those. But I am confident in the plays that we do have, and we can get right into it. So play number 1. I'm taking Willson Contreras to hit a home run. He is best offered at plus 390 at FanDuel. This is actually, it says 370. It's actually 390. I just locked this in right before I hit record. So the best offer price is actually plus 390 at FanDuel for Contreras. Now the weather on this one is not one of the good weather games. Granted, it's very, very hot. So you look at the temperature. It's in the 90s when the game starts, going to be in the 80s, high 80s for most of the game. The wind is blowing pretty much straight to left field, which is going to help a righty, maybe slightly in, which obviously won't help, which will slightly help a right-handed hitter like Willson Contreras. But if you look at it just from a weather perspective, it's slightly positive. So the only reason why it's in the negative here is because Busch Stadium is not a hitter-friendly park. But all in all, it's not terrible. Weather Edge kind of has it as an average game as well. As you can see, slightly positive. The reason we are on Willson Contreras was a couple. He hits lefties very well. His ISO rate, 243 against left-handed pitching. That is almost at the excellent threshold that we look for, which is 250 and above. And then against righties, it's down to 173. And his numbers, slugging, OPS, WOBA, all these numbers are higher against left-handed pitching. He's been hitting lefties well recently. You look at him over the last month against left-handed pitching. ISO rate of 300. It's only been 10 at-bats, so it's a small sample size, but the hard hit rate's fantastic, and the fly ball rate is fantastic. And then you look at him, the matchup, Shota Imanaga is pitching for the Cubs, who's a good pitcher, but he can get hit up by righties, and it's really just his fastball. I mean, he only throws 2 pitches, really, the four-seam fastball and the splitter. He's allowed a home run every, essentially, 18 at-bats to right-handed hitters, and then you look at the last 5 weeks, and it's slightly better, but also not really. And you look at his stats, like the barrel rate is pretty high, the hard hit rate is pretty high, the fly ball rate is pretty high. So like none of these numbers are anything to be scared off of. And then you look at Contreras, look at him on the entire year. Hits the four-seam fastball very well, 263 ISO, 13% barrel rate, 55% hard hit rate, 37% fly ball rate. Very, very good numbers against the four-seam fastball from lefties. Then you look at against the splitter, which is the other pitch he's going to see. Doesn't really have any sample size, so really nothing we can show there. It's really just the four-seam fastball. But Ballpark Pal likes this matchup for Willson Contreras. They have him plus 8, so not quite a 10, which you're going to see in some of them, but still a good matchup for Contreras, and it's slightly positive EV. They have the true odds at 370. We got him at 390. So I do like Willson Contreras a lot. He's also been hitting well recently, which I should say. 7 barrels, 2 hard hits excuse me, 7 hard hits, 2 barrels over the last week is fine. But what I really like is yesterday hasn't quite pulled yet on FanGraph, so it's only showing you up until Friday. But 3 hard hits Friday, and then 2 hard hits on his last game, which was the 5th in a barrel. So he has, when he's played, hit well. Yesterday, he only had 2 at-bats, and then he was taken out. And that one of them, 98 miles an hour, 30-degree launch angle, 362 feet. Pretty good. So all in all, I like the matchup for Willson Contreras a lot. Next up, no surprise to anybody that I'm going with Kerry Carpenter, a.k.a. Barry. Really, really good price on him. One of the highest positive EV plays on Ballpark Pal, plus 425 is the price at Kerry Carpenter. I locked this in. I got this price. It's still available. So hopefully you are also able to get that price. Barry has been hitting pretty well recently. You look at him. He's not an everyday player. So when they play a lefty, he's not in the lineup. So his total numbers aren't going to be impressive. We look at the percentages. Very good. 18% barrel rate, 72% hard hit rate over the last week. The last 2 weeks, it is a 19% barrel rate and slightly lower hard hit rate, but still pretty good. Pull rate, fantastic. Fly ball rate, fantastic. Average launch angle, fantastic. Pitching matchup, one of the biggest dong ballers against lefties in the entire MLB, and Jack Kachanovitz. He has been better recently. I'll give him that. But you look at him on the year. He's allowed a home run every 17 at-bats to left-handed hitters. And yes, he has been better recently. I'll mention that, and I'll show you the stats. Last 6 weeks, only 1 home run given up. It's really just because the fly ball and line drive rate is low, and it is definitely low. But hard hit rate, 60%. The K rate down to only 13%. The Sierra is super high. So there's nothing about his batted ball statistics that's going to be anything to scare me off. And he did just allow a home run to a lefty in his last start. So after a couple good starts in a row, he did allow one to a lefty. And it's the perfect matchup for Barry. He hits the pitch mix very well. The sinker, I can just show you real quick. The sinker against right-handed pitching for Barry. 14% barrel rate, 80% hard hit rate, 20% fly ball rate. Only strikes out 4% of the time. That is fantastic. That's the biggest home run pitch for Kachanovitz if you look at the entire year. 7 of the, I guess it's half, but it's 44% of his pitch mix. Next up is the four-seam fastball, which Barry hits very well. Four-seam fastball, 13% barrel rate. You get the picture. I love this matchup for Barry. The weather is not ideal in this one, I will admit. The wind is blowing in from right field. It's not super heavy wind. It's only 9 miles an hour, so it's as long as it's not double digits, that's really when it gets scary. But obviously 9-mile-an-hour winds blowing in is not great. What I like about Barry in this one is they have the short right field, and he has such a good pull rate that he's always hitting the ball to this part of the park, which is where it's short. And at least the temperature's in the 90s. So it's kind of going to combat the wind, the temperature being in the 90s. So Ballpark Pal really likes it. So and they put a lot of emphasis on the weather. So if it was bad enough, they wouldn't be positive EV. So he's the second of my 3 favorites. And then the third of my 3 favorites is Adell, but I'm also taking Taylor Ward. So I'm talking about them together. In the same game, obviously the weather is stinky in this one. Granted, it's not going to be as bad for a righty because the wind is coming from the right side. So anything hit to the left field isn't going to be as bad. A shorter, not quite as short, but shorter right field porch as well. I'm just going Adell and Taylor Ward. They both hit home runs yesterday, so I get that people aren't going to like that. But at the end of the day, when you're looking for batters that hit the ball hard, some of them are also going to have recent home runs. But really what I'm talking about here is they both had 3 hard hits yesterday, 3 for Taylor Ward, 3 for Adell. And looking at them, White Shot also is a good play. His odds are just stinky. But you look at Taylor Ward, 106 miles an hour off the bat, 104.1 miles an hour off the bat, 103.9. The ball that he hit the slowest was the one that was home run, traveled 400 feet, basically. And then you look at Adell, 102.1 miles an hour off the bat, 101.8, 98.7. So the only one of them below 100. Adell has been on fire. He's hit a home run. I think he's hit 3 home runs in the last 5 games, something like that. He's been on fire. Taylor Ward, not as on fire recently, but we've seen him go back-to-back a million times before, and he had a great day at the plate yesterday. And I'm not scared off of the pitcher. Casey Mize is pitching for the Tigers. He's not terrible. Definitely not a bad pitcher by any means. Home run per 9 of 1.35 is slightly below average, more so neutral. Really high barrel rate allowed, 10%. Hard hit rate is pretty average. Average launch angle is pretty average as well. You look into his numbers in terms of like how many at-bats, just to kind of give you guys context to that. Home run every 26 at-bats on the year. Every basically 20 at-bats to right-handed hitters. And you saw his numbers all get worse against righties. I mean, every single number basically, except for line drive rate, was worse against righties and lefties, which is interesting coming from a right-handed pitcher. And then you look at him recently, like how has he been last 6 weeks? Slightly better, but not really. Home run every 25 at-bats. Sierra is high. K rate is relatively low. Barrel rate is nothing to be scared of. Hard hit rate is pretty high. Fly ball rate is fine. So nothing about his numbers, again, show you anything to be scared off of. And the price on these two players, and that's the biggest thing here, is crazy. Plus 500 for Joe Adell. That should not be the case with the way he's been hitting. And plus, this is actually plus 600 at DraftKings for Taylor Ward. For whatever reason, maybe I'll refresh it and see if it's still there, or if it shows up. But plus 600 for Taylor Ward. I get that the weather isn't ideal. No, doesn't pull, but I promise you he's 600 at DraftKings for Taylor Ward. I saw that price and I locked it in. And I would still take him at 575 if that's all you can get. So the price has a lot to do with it. And I get the weather isn't ideal, but you're getting 500 for one of the best home run hitters recently, and 600 for a guy that can go on home run binges and had a really good day at the plate yesterday. So that's plays number 3 and 4. Next up, I'm taking Lenyn Sosa to hit a home run. I was going to make a joke about, but I was going to involve some profanity, so I didn't. He's pretty decent price at $475 at Bet365. What I like about Sosa, he's been hitting very well. I mean, spoiler, that's what we look for, but 16 hard hits, 5 barrels over the last 14 days. But you look at the last week, 9 hard hits, 3 barrels. He had an awesome day at the plate yesterday, which again, I mentioned isn't pulling into those FanGraphs numbers. So if I just show you that real quick to kind of show you what I'm talking about. Even though they only scored 1 run, so obviously that is not ideal. He had 3 hard hits, and you look into those hard hits, it's 100 miles an hour off the bat, 338 feet, it's 99.7, and it's 98.6. So one of them, and this one traveled 384 feet. So only one hit above 100, but the other 2 are 98 and 99. That's fine. That's close enough. The pitching matchup, Slade Ciccone, who I mentioned sounds like a Batman villain. He's hit or miss. Like, he had a stretch where he was like striking out guys, pitching really well. Last 5 weeks, home run allowed every 19 at-bats to righties. Not good numbers across the board. I mean, the K rate is super low. Barrel rate, relatively high. Hard hit rate, relatively high. Fly ball rate's low, but the line drive rate is high. And then you look at the entire year, home run every 24 at-bats, so he definitely has been worse recently. But his numbers are kind of just as bad, so nothing really different about these advanced stats. The home runs have just kind of been there versus not. One of the good weather games of the day, as I mentioned, 17% home run index. It's going to be relatively hot, especially at the end of the game, with winds blowing slightly to left field, slightly in. It's not going to impact the trajectory that much. And Sosa has been very, very good. And yeah, so it's a good matchup. 475 odds. The last 2 plays are both on the Royals. I'm going with Salvador Perez and Mikhail Garcia. Now, Garcia is going to sound random, but for Perez also, I went with yesterday, so hopefully no day late on him. Ballpark Pal loves this one as well, plus 425 there. And then Garcia is actually 800 at Bet365, not 850. I did check that. It's 800. Part of the reason why I like Garcia, just compare Bet365 to every other book. We're looking at 600. The closest book at FanDuel, 500, 525, 500, 550. So really, really good price on Bet365 for Mikhail Garcia. And the biggest thing that I want to talk about first is the pitching matchup. Now, this is not confirmed by MLB.com yet, but Ballpark Pal lists him as the pitcher. Plate IQ lists him as the pitcher, so it's probably going to be Jose Urena. Guy's a dong machine. On the year, home run per 9, 2.42. That's disgusting. Barrel rate allowed 16%. That's disgusting. Hard hit rate is kind of low. I'll give him that, but the barrel rate is super high. The home runs have been there. His K rate is super low, which is why you see a low hard hit rate as well. Those two generally go hand in hand. He's been on a bunch of teams this year. He may only pitch a couple innings, but he just threw 4 last time for the Twins. So probably going to give us 4 to 5 innings in this one if I had to guess. The Twins bullpen has been depleted, so I'm not scared off of that. Perez didn't do anything at the plate yesterday, but generally had been hitting well. You look at him, 12 hard hits over the last week, over the last 14 days, 21. Those are healthy numbers for sure. Garcia is just behind him, 19 hard hits over the last 2 weeks, 4 barrels. That's pretty good. Over the last week, 9 hard hits is acceptable, not amazing, but acceptable. 2 barrels is kind of in the same boat. But while Perez didn't do anything at the plate yesterday, Garcia did. He's one of the only guys on the Royals that really did anything. You see he had 2 hard hits in the leadoff spot, and those were hit pretty hard. I mean, he had the hardest hit of the game, a double, 108 miles an hour off the bat. Just got to get that launch angle up a little bit more. And then another hit above 100 miles an hour, granted, launch angle of 3 degrees, doesn't matter. But you look at him recently, fly ball rate of 50% over the last week is very, very good. Now, he's hitting a lot of ground balls as well, so what's not happening are the line drives. But you're telling me he's putting the ball in the air at almost a 50% rate. That's good. We like that almost 50% pull rate as well. And he's been hitting well. Like, you look at him on the entire year, his power numbers aren't going to be anything that impressive. But you look at him, like, it's been a recent power surge. Since July 26th, he's hit 3 home runs. ISO rate of 327 is pretty good. Like, slugging 673 is good. WOBA is good in that stretch. His OPS in that stretch is very good as well. And the barrels haven't quite been there. The hard hits are okay, but he never strikes out. Strikeout rate of 10%. So you can accept a lower strikeout rate because everything's put in play. So I think it's worth a stab at plus 800 against such a dong ball pitcher. I mean, Ballpark Pal loves the matchup, plus 10 extreme advantage. Same thing for Salvador Perez. I didn't go with Bobby Witt because the prices are kind of stinky. Like, I'd rather take 425 for Perez than 390 at Bet365. Or 390. Yeah, 390. And that's all we got. So 7 players on Dong Watch for today. Hopefully, we can have a better day than we had the last couple days. Kerry, Carpenter, Joe Adell. Those are also 2 of my favorites. The third of my 3 favorites was Willson Contreras. And then we went Taylor Ward, Lenyn Sosa, Salvador Perez, and Miguel Garcia. And I forgot Perez is actually $450. So a little bit better price on him. And then 800 at Miguel Garcia. And that's all we got. Thank you, everybody, for watching. Like the video, comment, subscribe, of course, bet responsibly, all that good stuff. And have a good one.